Hello everybody, this is Gareth Cahoon Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or else you can look me up at my website, which is www.garethcahoon.co.uk. Or if you super like the work that I do and would like to support the ministry, you can do so through PayPal GarethCahoon3 at gmail.com. Gareth Cahoon is spelled Garethchahoon. So this one is about Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu convinces MK to rejoin coalition, cracking ultra-orthodox legislation boycott and paving way for the IDF draft law. Netanyahu's move is likely to avert early new elections, which are currently set for October. In a surprise move, Israeli Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu managed to spur the ultra-Orthodox parties and convince one of their Knesset members to rejoin the governing coalition on Thursday. The Prime Minister's shrewd move could pave the way for an approval of the controversial IDF draft law, ending the ultra-Orthodox legislation boycott and averting the looming threat of new elections. On Thursday, Netanyahu appointed Knesset member Israel Elisher of the United Torah Judaism's UTJ party to the largely meaningless but comfortable and well-paid position of Deputy Communications Minister. Israel's so-called Norwegian law enables ministers to resign as Knesset members due to intra-party politics. The UTJ candidate who will fill Elisher's place is MK Yishak Pindrus, who is reportedly willing to vote for the coalition's latest proposal for a new IDF draft law despite general ultra-orthodox opposition. Pindrus is also expected to rejoin the coalition, which UTJ quit amid the row over the draft law last July, according to Channel 12 News. The move highlights a growing rift between the rabbis of Ger and Belz, two of the senior spiritual leaders of the party, and could point to a weakening of the unified front the Haredi leadership has put up against the draft law bill. A failure of the draft bill is widely expected to trigger early new elections, while the next regular elections are scheduled for October. Only part of the Agudat Yisrael faction of the UTJ, led by former Housing Minister Yitzhak Goldknopf, rejects the draft law proposal outright. Other senior rabbis of the faction, the Degel HaTorah faction, to which Pindrus belongs, as well as the Sephardic ultra-Orthodox Shas party, are more flexible, demanding that changes be made before granting their support as part of the tactic to force improvements. The Haredi parties have used the Knesset votes to boycott most legislation for several months at this point. The UTJ has 7 votes, 3 belonging to Agat Yisrael and 4 to Degel HaTorah. After the party left the coalition, it now only holds 50 to 120 Knesset seats, enabling UTJ to block legislation from reaching a majority. Last week, a meeting of the senior Haredi rabbis reaching no binding decision for or against the current draft proposal, despite most rabbis opposing the proposed sanctions for draft dodgers, a senior UTJ figure told Channel 12 News. According to Can News, other rabbis are currently working on the new framework to win over the rabbis of the Agudat Yisrael faction. The new proposals would not include enlistment quotas, but enable verifiable yeshiva students to avoid the draft, while those Haredi men who don't study and still dodge the draft would face severe sanctions. The coalition plans to wrap up discussions about the draft bill in the Foreign Affairs and Defence Committee by the end of the month, and to bring the law to a vote at the start of February, according to Ynet News. According to Channel 12's news, senior political analyst Amit Siegel, Shaz and the Gal HaTorah faction of the Ultra Torah Judaism want to pass this at the start of February to put it behind them. The estimate, and also in the Likud party, is that it's better to pass it one go than to bleed votes every day during the discussions about it. Absurdly, once the votes pass, the media discussions will decrease. Meanwhile, opposition leaders criticised the overtly political decision to appoint Eclair, who identifies with the anti-Zionist stream of the Haredi community, to a deputy minister post. Netanyahu is promoting evasion for IDF service together with Knesset members who do not believe in the existence of the State of Israel, criticised Yesh and Chairman Yair Lapid. The appointment of Eclair as deputy minister, someone who has previously said that Israel is an enemy state, a historic national disaster, and that it is a Hebrew ghetto, solely in order to try to pass the draft evasion law, is a disgrace that cannot be erased. Israel Beitenu chairman Avigdor Lieberman changed that government ministries are not gifts or bribes. There is actually a country to run. So this is a sticking point that has been between Likud, which is Netanyahu's party, and the ultra-Orthodox, because the ultra-Orthodox don't believe that they should be fighting for Israel while they're studying and going through their yeshiva. But it is important that every member of Israel, whether men or women, should have to serve, because after all, it is their country. And why should there be any difference in religious Jews and non-religious Jews? Because they all live in the country. If the country goes down, they all go down together. So my advice to the ultra-Orthodox who are putting up roadblocks to this bill should really think of the safety and the long-standing of Israel above other dynamics that they see fit. You can still study yeshiva, you can still read the Bible and do all that while serving. There's many other Israelis do it every day, Muslim, Christian and Jews. Shalom, Maranatha, and Hallelujah.